Getting old together isn't just about making it through the years, it's about making those years meaningful. You've probably seen young couples flaunting their love, but have you ever looked at an older couple and thought, now that is real love? What if I told you that some of the strongest relationships aren't the ones filled with grand romantic gestures, but the ones built on quiet, everyday moments? Today, we're diving into the overlooked signs that you and your partner are doing it right in old age. Signs that might just surprise you. Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you'll see love in a way you never have before. A lot of people think a lasting relationship is about never arguing or always feeling the same spark from day one. But the truth is, real love isn't about avoiding problems, it's about how you handle them. That's why the first sign of a truly healthy relationship in old age isn't flashy. It's not about romance or grand declarations. It's about something much deeper. How you and your partner handle health challenges together. By the time you reach old age, life has thrown a lot at you, physically and emotionally. The strongest couples don't just stay together through sickness. They adjust, adapt, and support each other in ways that don't always get noticed. If you look at younger couples, love is often loud. Public displays of affection, big vacations, extravagant gifts. But with older couples, love is often quiet, steady, and deeply ingrained in their everyday life. And nowhere is this clearer than in how they handle health challenges together. The quiet ways they care. It's easy to say, in sickness and in health, when you're standing at the altar. But what does that really look like after 40, 50, even 60 years? It looks like a husband gently adjusting his wife's pillow at night because he knows it helps with her stiff neck. It looks like a wife casually placing a glass of water by her husband's pills without nagging, just a simple gesture of care. It looks like an old man waiting an extra minute at the top of the stairs, pretending to check his phone, just to give his wife time to catch up without making her feel slow. And these aren't grand romantic moments. They're everyday things, so small that an outsider might not even notice. But that's the beauty of it. When a relationship is strong in old age, love isn't declared. It's proven in these tiny, almost invisible ways. Adjusting, not complaining. The healthiest older couples don't resent the changes that come with aging. Instead, they adjust. And they do it without making a big deal out of it. When one of them starts having trouble hearing, the other naturally learns to repeat things without rolling their eyes. When arthritis makes cooking harder, they start prepping meals together, turning it into a team effort instead of a struggle. When one gets tired more easily, the other changes plans. Not with frustration, but with a simple, "How about we just watch a movie tonight?" There's no dramatic sighing, no passive-aggressive comments, just a quiet understanding that life changes and we change with it. The strength of being seen. There's a difference between being looked after and being looked down on. A strong older couple understands this. They don't treat each other like fragile glass. They treat each other with dignity. A woman in her 70s once said, "I don't need my husband to treat me like I'm helpless. I just need him to notice when I need a little extra help." And that's what makes all the difference. A strong partner doesn't make a big show of caregiving. They simply see what their partner needs and step in, without pity, without making them feel less than who they are. What younger people can learn from this younger people often imagine love as something passionate and intense, fueled by grand gestures and dramatic moments. But the truth is, the strongest love is built on consistency, care, and the ability to adapt together. Aging isn't just about getting older, it's about proving, over and over again, that you're still there, still showing up, still choosing each other every single day. So, if you see an older couple where one gently rests a hand on the other's back while they walk, or one naturally remembers what the other needs before they even ask, that's real love. That's what lasting, healthy relationships look like in old age. And that brings us to another major sign: how older couples rebuild their lives together after retirement. Sign number 2. They build a new routine after retirement. For most of life, routines are built around responsibilities, work schedules, raising kids, paying bills, and keeping up with the daily grind. But when retirement comes, everything changes. Suddenly, there's no office to go to, no alarm clock demanding attention, no kids to shuttle around. For some couples, this transition is a struggle. Without work or structure, they feel unmoored, unsure of how to fill their days together. But in the healthiest relationships, retirement isn't the end of structure. It's a chance to create a new routine, together. The couples who get closer, not distant. You might have heard of couples who retire and suddenly don't know what to do with each other. One person wants to relax, the other wants to stay busy. One wants to travel, the other is content at home. Sometimes, retirement can expose how much a couple has grown apart. But the strongest couples? They grow into this new phase of life, together. They don't see retirement as losing a purpose. They see it as a chance to redefine their purpose, side by side. How they find a new rhythm. So, what does this look like in real life? It's different for everyone, but the pattern is the same. Some couples find a new shared hobby. Maybe it's gardening, maybe it's bird watching, maybe it's joining a local walking group. Whatever it is, it becomes their thing. Some create little traditions, a slow breakfast together every morning instead of rushed coffee, an evening stroll where they talk about the day, even if it wasn't filled with big events. Some divide tasks in a way that feels good to both of them. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to look the same for every couple. But the strongest relationships find a flow that works for both people, without resentment. The art of making space. Now, here's something interesting. Healthy couples don't just build a routine together, they also learn to give each other space within that routine. Retirement doesn't mean you need to be glued to each other 24/7. She goes to her weekly book club while he meets up with his old friends for coffee. He tinkers in the garage while she watches her favourite cooking shows. She loves yoga. He prefers golfing, so they do their own thing and then come back together to share stories. The key difference? They don't see separate time as a problem. They see it as balance. The healthiest older couples respect each other's need for independence while still valuing their shared time. They don't panic if their partner wants to do something alone. They don't take it personally. They understand that after decades together, having your own interests keeps things fresh. But not every couple adjusts smoothly to retirement. Some struggle with losing their old identities. A husband who worked 40 years might feel lost when he's no longer the guy in charge. A wife who spent decades raising kids might suddenly wonder, who am I now? This is where healthy couples stand out. Instead of getting stuck in that identity crisis, they lean on each other to explore new roles. One older couple put it like this: "For the first time in 40 years, we're choosing how to spend our time, not just reacting to responsibilities. And honestly, it's kind of exciting." What younger people can learn from this? Retirement might seem far away for younger couples, but here's the takeaway. The strongest relationships don't just happen to work out in old age. They are built, adjusted, and nurtured again and again. If a couple can figure out how to grow together after something as life-changing as retirement, it's a sign that their bond is built to last. And that leads perfectly to sign number 3, they show gratitude every day. Sign number 3, they show gratitude every day. After decades together, it's easy to take each other for granted. You stop noticing the little things your partner does because they've always done them. The morning coffee magically appears, the laundry gets folded, the car's tank never seems to hit empty. But in the strongest relationships, gratitude never fades. Even after 40, 50 or 60 years, they still acknowledge the small efforts, the daily kindnesses, and the quiet ways they make life easier for each other. Gratitude in a long-term relationship isn't about constantly saying thank you in a formal way. It's about recognition, letting your partner know you see what they do. A wife gives a small, knowing smile when her husband remembers to grab her favourite snack at the store. A husband pats his wife's hand when she automatically adjusts the thermostat to the temperature he likes. After a long day, one partner simply says, "I don't say this enough, but I appreciate you." No grand speeches, no big declarations, just quiet, consistent appreciation. Acts of gratitude speak louder than words. In a healthy older couple, gratitude isn't just spoken, it's shown. A husband notices his wife had a tiring day, so he runs the bath for her without being asked. A wife hears her husband cough in the middle of the night and gets up to bring him water before he even asks. One partner wakes up early to shovel snow from the driveway so the other doesn't have to deal with it. These aren't extravagant gifts or dramatic moments. They're small, daily actions that say, "I appreciate you." And here's the kicker. These acts of gratitude often become mutual. When one person consistently shows appreciation, the other naturally responds in kind. They don't keep score. One of the biggest traps in long-term relationships is scorekeeping, keeping mental tallies of who does more. "I cooked dinner 3 nights in a row. It's your turn." "I always remind you about your doctor's appointments. Why don't you ever remind me?" "I did something nice for you. Why didn't you return the favour?" But in a truly strong relationship, gratitude isn't conditional. It's not a transaction. One partner doesn't do something expecting something in return. They do it because they want to, because they care. And in the healthiest couples, that attitude is contagious. Over time, it creates a natural rhythm of mutual appreciation. Finding gratitude in the mundane. Another thing strong older couples do, they don't just appreciate the big stuff, they find gratitude in the ordinary, sitting quietly together, drinking tea and realising, this is nice. Watching their partner hum absent-mindedly while cooking and feeling lucky to be there. A wife glancing at her husband while they watch TV and thinking, after all these years, I'm still happy sitting beside you. It's easy to be grateful for the exciting moments, vacations, anniversaries, grand gestures. But in a truly strong relationship, the simple moments matter just as much. The couples who lose this lose everything. Here's the truth. Couples who stop showing gratitude often drift apart. It's not usually sudden. It happens slowly. One person stops appreciating the other. The other stops putting in effort. Over time, small resentments build. The strongest couples, they never stop noticing each other. They never stop valuing what they have. What younger people can learn from this? For younger couples, this is one of the biggest lessons of all. Never let appreciation fade. If your partner makes your life even a little easier, recognize it. If they support you in ways big or small, don't take it for granted. If you love them, show them every day, in the little things. Because the happiest older couples, they didn't just wake up one day with a perfect relationship. They built it step by step with gratitude at the foundation. And that leads perfectly into sign number 4. They tackle tough talks head on. Sign number 4. They tackle tough talks. Head on, a lot of people think the best relationships are the ones without conflict, where everything is smooth, no one fights, and difficult topics never come up. But if you look at the strongest older couples, you'll see the opposite. They've had the hard conversations, and that's why their relationship is so strong. When you've been together for decades, there's no escaping life's biggest topics: money, health, family issues, even what happens when one of you is gone. Some couples avoid these talks, brushing them under the rug until it's too late. But the healthiest relationships? They tackle these topics head on. They don't dodge the hard stuff. You know you're looking at a healthy older couple when they can talk about life's most difficult realities without fear, without resentment, and without unnecessary tension. A couple in their 80s sits down to update their will, not with sadness, but with the understanding that it's just part of life. A husband and wife discuss long-term care plans over dinner, treating it like any other topic, because they know ignoring it won't make it go away. There's no panic, no avoidance, just clear, honest conversations that bring clarity instead of confusion. Honesty makes their bond unshakable. If you ask these couples how they got to this point, they'll tell you. They've been having honest conversations for years. They've talked about finances. They've talked about health scares. They've talked about the possibility of losing each other. And because of that, there are no surprises, no hidden fears lurking beneath the surface. Younger couples sometimes think love is about protecting each other from difficult truths. But the reality, real love, is about being honest, even when it's hard. They plan for the future without fear. For some people, talking about the future, especially the difficult parts, feels uncomfortable. But older couples who have been together for decades see it differently. Instead of saying, "Let's not talk about that," they say, "Let's figure this out together." They make medical decisions as a team, ensuring they both understand each other's wishes. They discuss finances openly, so one partner isn't left confused or overwhelmed if something happens to the other. They prepare for major life changes, not in a panic, but with a calm, shared understanding. This isn't just about logistics, it's about respect, respecting each other enough to be honest, to plan ahead, and to make sure neither person is left in the dark. How they handle disagreements. Now, this doesn't mean they always agree. Even after decades together, couples still have different opinions. Maybe one wants to downsize and the other wants to stay in their home. Maybe one wants to travel and the other prefers a quiet retirement. Maybe one is ready to stop driving while the other resists the idea. The difference? They don't shut down or explode when they disagree. They talk through it. Instead of, "You never listen to me," they say, "I understand why you feel that way. Here's what I'm thinking." Instead of, "We'll deal with that later," they say, "Let's sit down and figure this out now," because they've spent years learning how to listen, compromise, and respect each other's perspectives. What happens when they don't have these talks? For couples who avoid these conversations, the results can be devastating. One partner gets sick, and the other has no idea what their wishes are. Financial problems arise because neither ever really understood their situation. Family members are left in conflict, trying to guess what their parents wanted. Avoiding the hard talks doesn't make them go away, it just makes them harder when they finally come up. What younger people can learn from this? A strong relationship isn't just about the good times, it's about how you handle the tough moments. If you avoid hard conversations, issues pile up like clutter in a house. But if you tackle them together, you build trust, clarity, and an unshakable bond. The healthiest older couples have this figured out. They don't wait for problems to force them into a conversation. They talk before things become a crisis. They choose honesty over avoidance. And that, more than anything, proves that their love is built to last. And that leads us perfectly to sign number 5. They laugh at life's hiccups. Aging comes with quirks. Your memory gets a little fuzzy. Your body starts doing things you don't remember signing up for. One day, you stand up and your knee makes a noise like a rusty door hinge. For some couples, these little annoyances become frustrations. They grumble, they snap, they focus on what's not working anymore. But the healthiest older couples, they laugh. They don't ignore life's inconveniences, but they don't let them ruin their joy either. The art of laughing instead of complaining. If you spend time with a truly happy older couple, you'll notice something. They don't take themselves too seriously. A husband misplaces his glasses for the 10th time that week. Instead of getting frustrated, his wife smirks and says, "Did you check your head?" A wife forgets someone's name mid-sentence. Her husband jumps in with, "Oh, you mean our good friend, what's his name?" And they both crack up. A couple in their 70s goes out to eat. And halfway through dinner, the husband realizes he's been wearing mismatched shoes all day. His wife just laughs and says, "You're starting a new fashion trend." Why this matters more than you think. At first glance, these moments might seem silly, but here's why they matter. Laughter turns annoyances into connection. Instead of rolling their eyes when one of them makes a mistake, they share a joke about it. That tiny decision, choosing humour over irritation, keeps their bond strong. Laughter reduces stress. Growing older comes with real challenges: health issues, financial worries, changes in energy levels. But when couples can laugh together, it acts as a release valve. It keeps the tough stuff from feeling overwhelming. Laughter is a sign of comfort. If you can tease each other and laugh about life's hiccups, it means you feel safe with each other. It means you're not walking on eggshells or secretly resenting each other. They laugh with each other, not at each other. This is an important distinction. Healthy couples don't use humour as a weapon. They don't mock each other in a way that stings. Instead, their humour is affectionate. It's playful teasing that makes them feel closer, not embarrassed. A husband grins and says, "You've been stealing the covers for 40 years. I'm filing a complaint." A wife nudges her husband and says, "If I have to remind you where we parked one more time, I'm putting a GPS on you." One of them fumbles with their phone, trying to figure out how to turn the volume down, and the other just chuckles and says, "Let's call the grandkids. They're our tech support." The key: both people enjoy the joke. Inside jokes, the secret language of long-term love. One of the most heartwarming things about long-term couples? They have a lifetime of inside jokes. The same dumb joke one of them made 30 years ago still makes them laugh today. A song comes on the radio, and one of them starts grinning because it reminds them of a hilarious road trip disaster from decades ago. They have little catchphrases they've said for so long that no one else understands them, but they do. These tiny moments are proof of a history shared, a connection no one else has. They know when to laugh and when to be serious. Of course, strong couples don't joke about everything. They know when something is serious and when it's okay to lighten the mood. But what sets them apart is this. Even when life gets heavy, they always find a reason to smile. A couple facing a tough health diagnosis still shares light-hearted moments in the waiting room. A husband who needs a walker now jokes, "Well, at least I finally have something to lean on when I'm tired of shopping." A wife who struggles with memory loss finds comfort when her husband says, "That's okay, I'll remember for both of us." They don't laugh because life is easy. They laugh because they refuse to let life steal their joy. What younger people can learn from this? If you want a love that lasts, don't just look for someone who makes your heart race. Look for someone who makes you laugh. Someone who can find humour in the little things, who can tease you in a way that makes you feel loved, not embarrassed. Because at the end of the day, the strongest couples, they're not the ones who have had the easiest lives. They're the ones who have learned to laugh their way through it. And that brings us to sign number 6. They keep their memories fresh. If you sit with an older couple who has been together for decades, chances are they have stories, lots of them. And they don't just keep these stories locked away, they bring them to life. They talk about the past not because they're stuck in it, but because it's part of what makes them who they are. In the strongest relationships, memories aren't just things you store away like old photographs in a box. They're treasures to be shared, revisited, and relived together. The stories they never get tired of telling. Ask any long-time couple how they met, and chances are they have a story ready to go. And if they're a truly strong couple, they've told it 100 times and still love telling it. A wife rolls her eyes playfully and says, "Oh, here we go again. He loves this story." A husband starts telling the tale of their first road trip, and his wife jumps in halfway through because she knows exactly where he's going. A couple laughs about the time they got lost on vacation, remembering every silly detail like it happened yesterday. The beauty of these stories isn't just in the memories themselves, it's in the way they tell them together. It's proof of a shared life, a history that no one else knows quite like they do. They celebrate the little moments. You might think that older couples only reminisce about the big moments, weddings, births, major milestones. But in reality, the strongest couples remember the small, ordinary moments just as fondly. Remember that cafe we used to go to every Saturday morning? We used to sit on the porch every night after the kids went to bed. That was our time. I still think about that one time we danced in the kitchen for no reason. They don't just hold on to the highlights. They hold on to the everyday magic, the quiet, simple moments that made their relationship special. They keep old traditions alive. Healthy older couples don't just reminisce about the past, they find ways to bring it into the present. They still go to the same diner they went to when they were young, even if the menu has changed. They still listen to their song whenever it comes on the radio, maybe even swaying to it in the living room. They still exchange the same small jokes or phrases they've been saying for years, ones that no one else would understand but them. These little traditions aren't just sentimental, they're proof that time hasn't erased their bond. They use memories to get through. Hard times, memories aren't just about nostalgia. In strong relationships, they become anchors. When one partner faces a tough health battle, the other reminds them, "Remember all the things we've made it through together." When they argue, they take a step back and think about their journey, how many storms they've weathered, and suddenly the fight doesn't seem so important. When life slows down, they fill the quiet moments with stories from the past, laughing and remembering why they fell in love in the first place. Memories aren't just about looking backward, they help couples move forward too. They pass their stories down. The strongest older couples don't just keep their memories to themselves, they share them. They tell their grandkids about the time they took a spontaneous trip in their old car, back when gas was cheap. They show their children old letters, photos, and keepsakes, proof of the life they built together. They pass down family traditions, ensuring that their love story lives on through generations. Their memories become more than just personal treasures. They become a legacy. What younger people can learn from this? If there's one lesson younger couples can take from this, it's this. Don't let your best moments slip by unnoticed. Take pictures, not for social media, but for you. Write down funny moments, sweet gestures, things that make you laugh together. Make note of the traditions you want to keep alive, so years from now, they're still part of your story. Because when you look at the happiest older couples, they have something priceless. A lifetime of memories, still fresh, still alive, still part of who they are. And that leads us to sign number 7. They ignore the small stuff. When you've spent decades together, you start to realize something. Most things aren't worth the fight. The strongest older couples don't waste energy on whether the towels are folded the right way or whose turn it is to take out the trash. They've learned to let the little annoyances go because, at the end of the day, those things don't define a relationship. They pick their battles, and there aren't many. If you look at an older couple who's been together for 40, 50 or 60 years, you'll notice something interesting. They don't sweat the small annoyances. A wife shrugs when her husband forgets to pick up milk from the store, because she knows they'll figure it out. A husband doesn't complain when his wife leaves her shoes by the door, because in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter? They don't nitpick. They don't keep score. They focus on the big picture. They've learned what's worth their energy. In younger relationships, it's easy to get caught up in the small stuff. The way someone loads the dishwasher, the way they forget to text back quickly, the way they leave clothes on the floor. But older couples, they've already been through the real challenges, job losses, health scares, family struggles. They know what actually matters. So instead of arguing about small things, they save their energy for what really counts. Being there for each other when it matters. supporting each other through life's big challenges, enjoying the time they have together rather than wasting it on pointless fights. How they handle annoyances. Now, does this mean strong older couples never get annoyed with each other? Of course not. They're human. They still notice the little habits that used to drive them crazy. The difference? They've learnt to laugh it off. Instead of snapping when his wife takes forever to get ready, a husband just smiles and says, "You've been keeping me waiting for 50 years. What's a few more minutes?" Instead of getting irritated when her husband leaves crumbs on the counter, a wife just sighs and brushes them away, knowing he's done it forever and will probably never stop. Instead of turning every small mistake into an argument, they roll with it, knowing that peace is better than being right. They apologize without pride getting in the way. Another key difference in strong older couples? They know how to let things go, and that includes knowing when to apologize. They don't let arguments drag on for days. They don't need to win fights. They don't hold grudges over minor disagreements. If one of them realizes they were wrong, they say so. If they have a misunderstanding, they clear it up. And if something upsets them, they talk about it, resolve it, and move forward. They know time is too precious to waste. When you're young, it's easy to think you have endless time, but older couples, they understand that every day together is a gift. That's why they don't waste time on pointless conflicts. They choose kindness over criticism. They choose patience over frustration. They choose love over ego. Because at the end of the day, being right doesn't matter as much as being happy together. What younger people can learn from this? If you're in a relationship now, take a page from the happiest older couples. Let go of the little stuff. It's not worth the fight. Focus on what actually matters: support, love, and shared experiences. Don't hold grudges. Life is too short for unnecessary tension. The happiest long-term relationships aren't the ones without flaws. They're the ones where both people have learned to love each other, flaws and all. And that's what makes a relationship stand the test of time. When you look at truly happy older couples, you'll notice something. They didn't just get lucky in love. They built it, they nurtured it, and they kept choosing each other every single day. They don't just survive old age together, they thrive in it. So whether you're in a long-term relationship now or hoping to build one that lasts, remember this: love isn't about grand gestures, it's about daily choices. The strongest relationships aren't perfect, but they are deeply kind. If you want a love that lasts a lifetime, learn from those who have already walked that road. And if you're lucky enough to be in a relationship like this, hold on to it, cherish it, and never stop appreciating what you have. Because at the end of the day, that's what real love looks like. If you and your partner tick most of these boxes, if you handle health challenges together, adapt to new routines, express daily gratitude, tackle tough talks, find humor in life's hiccups, cherish your shared memories, and let the small stuff go, then congratulations. You've built something rare. In a world that often romanticizes young love, you've proven that the strongest, deepest love isn't about passion that burns fast and fades. It's about a steady flame that never goes out. You've weathered storms, you've evolved together. And most importantly, you still choose each other every single day. That's no small thing. That's what real love looks like. And if you're younger, watching this and hoping for a love that lasts, know this: the best relationships aren't the ones that never struggle. They're the ones that find joy, kindness, and strength through every stage of life. So here's to the couples who've made it work, who've built something worth celebrating, who remind the rest of us that love, when done right, only gets better with time. If you enjoyed this video and found yourself nodding along, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps more people see this content, and if you want more videos on real, lasting relationships, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out. We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Which of these signs resonated with you the most? Or, if you've seen a strong older couple in your life, share what makes their relationship special. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.